Hey everyone, Couch Investor here with another video for you today. My last video, I talked about Air Canada and why I think it's the best stock to pick up right now regarding the current circumstances. At the end of the video, I asked you which other stock you want me to cover in the airline industry, and most of you said you wanted to see Boeing. So in this video, I will cover Boeing, go over its balance sheets, go over a couple of articles, and give my my opinion. But that's only my opinion; it's not advice on what's going to happen with the company. Before I dive into the balance sheets and everything, I would like to thank you everyone that has been subscribing, that has been watching the videos, commenting, engaging, doing all that. I know a lot of you are watching the video but aren't currently subscribed. That's okay. But if you can, go hit that subscribe button right here. I would really appreciate that. Now let's dive into this. As of today, right now actually, hopefully this video will go live when I finish this. It's up almost 6% to $155. It peaked February 1st, 2019 at $439, almost $440. But then it was downhill from there. As you can see, year to date, $347 went down until $95. That's around 72% decline. But if you bought here, you would currently be sitting at around 63% gains, but that would be crazy timing. But kudos to you if you managed to do so. So you can see it's currently recovering a little bit from this harsh crash. But overall, unlike other companies, I think Boeing deserves to have a crash like that, and we're gonna see it right now. So again, Boeing ticker symbol BA, current price 155. We can change that. No PE ratio as of now because they're not earning. There's no positive earnings. Dividend yield, that's yearly, $8.22. Average PE for the last 5 years is 23.6, which is higher than the average. Earnings, obviously they missed an all-time high. Let's write it at 440. Okay, the cash, they have $10 billion in cash, which is not a lot because you're gonna see how much debt they have. Revenue 76.5 billion, cost of revenue 72 billion, gross profit of 4.4 billion, again not a lot. Total operating expenses 7.12 billion, operating income in the negative 2.66 billion. Cash in assets, again cash the same thing. Receivables $3.33 billion. Inventory, that's planes that they have to sell to other companies, $76.6 billion. It's a lot, but still not enough. Prepaid expenses, none, which is a total of cash and assets $100.22 billion. Might seem a lot, but you're gonna see it's not that much compared to what other companies have regarding debt and revenues or profits. Non-cash assets, property 31.88 billion, depreciation of almost $20 billion, which is at a net of 12.5 billion. Intangible assets $3.33 billion, others 5.72, which is a total of $125.5 billion. Now liabilities, current is short term, non-current is long term. So the short term liability is $97.3 billion. As you can see, the non-cash and the cash assets are almost wiped with this short-term debt. Long-term, another almost $45 billion, which comes at a total of $132.2 billion, which takes out everything. Gross margins very low. Gross margin very low, 5.8%. Operating margins in a negative 3.5%. Now a liability breakdown, that's from this one. Short-term $7.2 billion, accounts payable $15.5 billion, accrued liability $14.1 billion, deferred revenue $51.55 billion, which is it's insane. It's way too high, and probably they're not going to get it anytime soon. Now, stock repurchasing, again, for a company that has so much debt, $2.6 billion in stock repurchasing. They have a negative earnings per share of $1.12. Again, dividend payment, we said 8.22 yearly dividend. Current valuation of $85.82 billion. Last year they have a negative earnings of minus $636 million. Obviously, you cannot have these things here because they're not earning anything. Again, this has to be in yellow, in red, dark red even, because when you only sit on $10 billion in cash, you don't want to spend more than 20% on stock repurchasing. Makes absolutely no sense to me. I don't know who's running this company right now. For me, they don't deserve that much help from the government if they're not willing to settle some stuff, like remove the dividend payment, don't allow them to repurchase their own stock ever. It's insane how much money they can save just by stopping those two things. Yes, for investors, not getting dividends is bad, but hey, would you prefer a healthy company that pays no dividend or an unhealthy company that pays a little bit of dividend? I would prefer the first option. Let's go on a couple of articles here. That's from yesterday. Why Boeing stock jumped 6% today. Well, at the beginning, they talk about, again, all the articles will be down in the comments below, like in the last video. It talks about, again, the Boeing 737 MAX that won't be able to perform any key test flights until May, and then they talk about it again, saying that, well, since there is a coronavirus, it won't happen until, well, maybe beginning of next year. Boeing said that it's almost sure that the Boeing 737 will fly again even before more testing is done. I don't know what's going to happen with that, because apparently there's 2 new software issues with plane's flight control computer. So I doubt any company would like to take that risk. And now why did it actually rise up 6% the other day and then again today? It's because of this little thing here. While declining to give absolute assurance on that prediction, Fauci said he still thinks we're going to be in good shape by autumn, which would obviously be good news for stocks in general. So if you don't know, Dr. Anthony Fauci he's the guy that keeps us up to date in the United States. He's like the director of National Institute of Allergy and Infectious Disease. By the time we get to the fall, we will have this coronavirus under control. Now, I don't know if that's true or not. I don't have a crystal ball. He doesn't have one either, but I'm sure that after a couple of months, most of the world will have this under control because, well, the curve will be flattened, as they say. If you're interested, again, to read all of those articles in detail, I'll leave it down in the comments below. In my next article, it talks again about the same problem about the 737 MAX. This is from today. Why 2 big Boeing suppliers just called off their $6 billion merger. It's about Woodward and Hexcel. Well, they're facing increased competition and pressure due to the grounding of Boeing 737 MAX in a well, their plan was in a combined $6.4 billion merger. They're not going to do so because, well, it's not worth it for them now since the 737 MAX is grounded and is not going to fly anytime soon. If you want to see how a plane is made, here you can see a little preview. I think on YouTube there are some videos that go over the whole facilities. It's quite amazing to see. But I'm not going to go into details because otherwise this video will be way too long. Again, this will be the last article about this Boeing 737 Max cancellations. So Avalon has cancelled orders of 75 Boeing 737 Max. Avalon is an Irish airline company. Well, some people might say, 75 planes, that's not a lot. Well, it's a huge amount of money, and it's a huge order. As you can see, this is Avalon's fleet. Here you can see Avalon has cancelled orders for 75 Boeings. In the media, the cancellation is considered to be carrying a tag in the 8.4 to 9.4 billion dollar range. So if you go back to their balance sheet, it is a lot of cash that is going away because of this cancellation. Again, I'm not sure what's going to happen with this specific Boeing model, because until they figure out the problems of the software problems or whatever, I didn't really go into details for that, but I don't think a lot of companies will take those planes. They would rather go with their older planes on another model or whatever, because, well, you don't want to go and take 400 or I don't know 800 passengers on a plane that you're not sure if the software is 100%. Now, this was an article from a couple of weeks ago. It talks about, well, we all know the stimulus package of $2 trillion, and obviously the airline companies are going to get a chunk of money from that. But apparently, Boeing CEO, the guy who's made this balance sheet look even more ridiculous than it is, says the company may reject stimulus if Treasury seeks equity in this equity stake. So basically, what it's mean is, like, he says we are not willing to accept a bailout if, well, Treasury would like a piece of the company. Now, I think Airbus is a not a lot, but I think partially owned by the French government. It's certainly backed a bit by the French government, and I think Boeing should consider maybe selling a small stake to the government, because, well, they will need a bailout. If they don't get a bailout, I don't think this company is going to survive for very long. Also, look at the numbers that they're requesting here. Boeing is requesting $60 billion in federal loans from a $500 billion corporate assistance program created in the Senate's $2 trillion economic stimulus bill. For me, it makes no sense. Like, why do they think they're going to get $60 billion, and then there's this number, if they're not even considering in giving something back? For me, and I think a lot of other people said that, I think Mark Cuban said it as well, companies should not be allowed ever to repurchase their own stock again, because it's just cash that are burning for what? For nothing. Again, it goes into more detail right here. This will be the last one. Now, they're not going to get $60 billion. They're only going to get, I think, $10 to $17 billion approximately. So we're going to go over the bullet points right here. Boeing may take out $10 billion through the Federal Reserve's new lending vehicle for helping the US economy during the coronavirus. Equity markets might initially welcome Boeing's use of the facility, but at the same time, investors need to recalibrate to the company's increasingly debt-laden capital structures. Like I said, they're just digging their hole deeper and deeper. Walton continues to worry about the hangover of Boeing's heavy debt load, which could climb to $40 billion of net debt in 2020 from $18 billion at year's end 2019. Obviously, the firm maintains a neutral rating, but the price tag has been slashed from $284 to $150. So basically, we're already at that price. For me, I still think they're gonna take some bailout money, some equity, not some equity. They're never gonna give some equity, I think, a stake in the company. But for me, it's a big no-no. I'm not touching this stock. I don't know. I think it's a mess until they clear out their balance sheets. Until this especially this gets slashed by, I would say half, but if it goes down by 20%, I would be very happy. And if this doesn't happen anymore, if this goes to zero, that would be great as well. But yeah, I don't think they're gonna go bankrupt. I don't think they're gonna close down. I think they're gonna get 10 billion. I even think they're gonna get maybe closer to $20 billion financial aid. But for me, I'm not touching this stock, not now, not ever, I think, unless something changes dramatically. That will be it for this video and for this series. Again, if you haven't watched my other two videos, it's here about Delta and Air Canada. Obviously, we talked about Zoom, the cruise lines, and a lot more stocks right there. In my next series, some people have asked me to cover some hotel stocks, Marriott, Hyatt, Hilton, also the Vegas ones, MGM and Wynn. We're going to see how we're going to do that. I always wanted to cover some hospitality stocks, so I might take Hilton, Hyatt, and Marriott or something. Also, I will put some real estate investment trust called ticker symbol PK. It's a Parks and Hotel. We can just go right here and take a look at it right very quickly. It's a spin-off of the Hilton branch. I think it was made in 2017. You can see Park, Hotels, and Resorts. This is a very high risk, very high reward, because you can see the highest point was $23, went down all the way to $5. So pays also a very nice dividend at the moment. It's around 45 cents per share. But again, that's going to be for maybe a future video. Again, I would like to thank everyone tuning in. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and see you in the next video. Bye bye.